A lovely display of hyacinths. There's a white one in among them there somewhere. A white one there. The scent they give off is amazing. Well, there are bluebells beginning to emerge. This being the middle of March. And some wild garlic. Yes. Woodpecker continues to bang away at nuts in this hole here. Nutshells strewn everywhere. It's amazing how they find them. All the little hole banged in. And there's the last of the hazel catkins. Although I notice there are some female flowers still out on this hazel bush. See one there with a pink stigma sticking out the top. That's a female flower, and they will eventually become the nuts. You see there on this south-facing hedge the greenery, the fresh greenery beginning to appear. It won't be very long before it needs cutting. It all seems to happen very quickly. There's all the snowdrops have all died off now. But the snake's head fritillaries all beginning to emerge and put on that wonderful show. And the rosemary's in flower. No bees on it yet. And lots of newts in the pond, but you never get any frogs in here. Just disturbed, a great mass of them on the surface. They've all just dived down under the water. And as the days get warmer, the grass is beginning to grow. I'll have to just give it a quick top for the lawnmower. Well, that looks a bit better. I could have done it shorter later in the year, but it looks a little tidy now, just as it begins to rain. You can see how long it is. And, so if I didn't get it cut shortly, it would have been a case of getting a scythe mower out to cut it. Well, it looks a lot better. Normally I leave all this bottom end just to grow wild, like a wild meadow bit. But you get so much grass at the end when you cut it. I've decided just to half it. So just this side, for the cocktish pippin apple tree there, I'm going to leave that, and on the other side there, in the shade of the hedge, I've decided to cut that. Anyway, just the woodland footpaths to cut now. They shouldn't be too bad. Takes about half an hour. Well, that's the grass cut. There's masses of moss in it. On the lawns I would normally, in the past, get some moss killer and kill it. There's so much of it, particularly in the shade of the hedges or the trees, that if I killed it, there'd be nothing left. So the policy now is green is good. So I'm just going to leave it. And you can see in the where the shadow of the hedge normally is, it's just nothing but moss. It's a nice shade of green. The first signs of blossom on this green gauge. Hopefully it will do better this year. And the first signs of the Boston ivy beginning its takeover of the back of the house. Oh, these are the new strawberry plants. Just arrived, so look at them. See what they're like. Oh, they look pretty good. Well rooted. Yeah, that's pleasing. Well, they just need sticking in the ground now before they get dried out. Well, they're really good plants. I'm really pleased with those. Well rooted, nice crown. All looking very healthy. And there's the rhubarb is beginning to appear. Just stick the bin over there. Just force it. Get some forced rhubarb. It's nice with custard. But you don't want to leave the bin on too long, otherwise the rhubarb will die. Yes, thousands of weeds appearing. I don't know what they are. Anyway, wait and see. But at the end of the day, it might be a case of killing them all with some glycophosphate. Just clean it all off. A lovely view down this avenue of hazels. A sort of silvery bark they've got. You don't really notice it. Well, the buds are beginning to break on the pear tree. It might be a good time to give them a dose of fungicide while there's no wind. See if you can keep this fungus at bay. Well, it's April the 1st and it's quite a chilly day, but out in the garden, first thing to do is to just tidy up this lot here, just trim them right back. Well, that looks a lot better. And I've also savaged this rosemary. I'd take it a bit more off, but the problem is if you cut them into the old wood, sometimes it just dies off. Anyway, I've left a fair amount of greenery on there and we'll just see what develops. But yeah, and there's the green gauge. Hopefully it'll do better this year. Well, the wind is from the north, so an ideal day for a bonfire. Nothing blows all over the neighbours' houses. All this needs burning. Hopefully it won't be too damp. Anyway, let's get it lit. Well, that's the beech and the hawthorn and all the other rubbish burnt. It just leaves to burn, now to burn the remains of the bay tree. and it contains lots of oils, and the leaves are incredibly inflammable. So I should be a bit careful you don't get caught up in it. Oh, that's the remains of the bonfire. Everything else is gone. Still, it's nice to get out of the way. And I've got my bin over my rhubarb, just force it. Force a little bit, you don't want too much of the stuff. I mean, it freezes well, and it's good for you. Oh, that's the pear tree, and I've given it one spray of fungicide. See if you can keep this sort of fungus from attacking the leaves. These are the dogtooth violets in this pot. When they're finished, I'll put them out into the woodland. A wonderful display of blue anemones. They spread like wildfire, these things. But yeah, put on a wonderful display. And blue. Well, I've sprayed this lot with Roundup. Kill these zillions of weeds which are beginning to appear. Lovely display of fritillaries. They're spreading everywhere in the garden. That lovely snake's head fritillary there. That lovely pattern on the petals. And mason bee just arrived on there. The greeny white one. Stronger than ever this year. And lots more flowers to come. Well, it's a wonderful day. It's the 3rd of April. I thought I might just go and trot a worm down the local beck. See if we can winkle out a trout. The first thing I need is some worms. That's the first job of the day. Well, it's a hedgehog. I haven't seen one for ages in the garden. Well, wasn't that lovely to see? Scuttling them across the lawn. There's the first asparagus spears beginning to appear. Lots of flowers on the maples suddenly appearing in this warm sunshine. The leaves being hit up here. Interesting how the sepals all curl over. And lots of cowslips appearing. A lovely flower. There are hundreds of them. A lovely fresh growth on the hedge. This hawthorn hedge. Wonderful at this time of year. Well, it's the 19th of April and it's a beautiful sunny day. There's a very, very strong wind coming from the east across the North Sea. So today we're in the garden. Well, yesterday when I was walking around town I came across these the last remnants of seed potatoes. And I've got this big lump of sort of spare ground here. And I'm just going to stick them in. You can see that they're well past their best, but I'll just grow them as solid potatoes. I gave up growing main crop 3 years ago. Potatoes need a lot of water, and in these drought conditions we've been having in the summertime, it's just totally uneconomical when you can go to the shop and buy them much cheaper. But these are little solid potatoes, so and they'll provide a bit of ground cover as well. I mean, this one is what? Morris Pear Charlotte. I recognise both of those. This one here is called Nicola. I've never heard of it, but anyway, we'll give it a go. And also these onion sets. Unfortunately, they haven't been to sprout yet, so that's quite good. And then on another bit of spare ground, I'm just going to scatter these shake and rake wildflowers and see what comes of them. So that's the initial task of the day. So this is where the old strawberry bed was, and I'm just going to stick these taties in here. Won't worry too much about spacing, or I just want to cover this ground, and it'll be nice for, as I say, for just picking and boiling when they're young. A taste of spring. Well, that didn't take long. Just need to keep an eye on the onions. Something has a nasty habit of pulling them out the ground. Blackbirds, I suspect. I'll just give this potato patch a sprinkling of Gromor fertiliser and then just rake it in. That'll do. We'll see what we get. Well, earlier on this was covered in weed seedlings, but the weed killers put paint to them, so I've just broken up the surface and I'll scatter these wildflower seeds on now when the wind has died down a bit, otherwise it'll be all over the place. Well, there you can see all the new strawberry plants. All of them have got away very nicely. It's really pleasing. There are 26 altogether. That'll be enough. There's the first of the asparagus ready for cutting. I'll just go and get a knife. They're quite small spears at this end. The bigger ones appear later on. But, they'll do very nicely, thank you. And that's the bin, hopefully, with some forced rhubarb underneath. We shall also cut. Well, I'm out here cutting the asparagus. Let's have a look underneath there and see what there is. Well, there we are. Very nice too. Especially stewed with a little sugar and some nice sweet hot custard on top. Lovely. The thing about rhubarb is when you don't cut it, you actually pull it. So you just take a stem and pull it off. An amazing colour and very good for you. And there's the first cutting of asparagus. Not a lot, but it'll taste lovely. First one always does. You could eat it for a month. It's not quite so nice, but anyway, let's go inside. And loads of cowslips. They like grow on a path. It looks a shorter grass. Nights ago I put the trail camera out to see what's been scratching up all this moss. Yeah, I'll take it in and see what's on it, if anything. I suspect it's pheasants. All that's left to do now is to cut the grass. I'll have to wait for another day. Well, it's not a lot. The first of the season. Wonderful. Well, lovely. Well, it's been raining heavily all day today, 22nd of April. There's no wind, so this is probably the time to sow this wildflower seed on this patch out here. Well, that's it on. You can see where it's been. With whatever that stuff is the seeds are mixed in with. It just needs a case of raking it in now. There's supposed to be something like 20,000 seeds in there. We'll see what comes of it. Well, all that remains to do now then is just sow these climbing French beans in pots. It won't take long. And they'll be ready to plant out towards the end of May, hopefully when the frosts have all disappeared. Well, that's them. I grow them every year. They're really good. Almost stringless. And you get these green, purple and yellow seed pods. You see where the blooming birds have been pulling out the onions. And I thought it was blackbirds, but it isn't, it's magpies. So I'll have to put all these back in. Well, it's the 26th of April, so I've just sown the climbing French beans and the courgettes. I just grow 5 of these. You get so many of them. So I've just put 3 beans in each pot. And hopefully, by the time they germinate, The last of the frosts will have gone, otherwise I shall have to protect them. Keep my eye on the weather forecast. So these just need covering up now and watering. Well, that's it in the garden for now. I'll see you later in the year when hopefully we have some solid potatoes. We'll see. Take care. We'll see you then. Bye bye.